Higher Calling Podcast, episode number 25. Today I have my friend, Mr. Paul Kennison, Nune, aka Mr. Propane from Opelousas, Louisiana. He's a Louisiana musician, hip hop artist, and fellow API. What's up, Paul?
Man, what's going on, Chad? Man, I'm glad to be here on a How You Calling podcast to give you all a little insight about me, my endeavors, a little bit about my story, and I've been on Chad for a long time. So I'm very grateful that he's given me the opportunity to share my story with everybody. So, man, just thank you for letting me be a part of this.
No, absolutely, man. That HBO helped brother out, man, and I appreciate you coming on. You helping me out, I'm helping you out. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, you know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah, and I mean, we met back in 2019 at Placid, and I think I was working nights, you was working days out there, and you was always rocking and doing your thing, and always about business, and we worked opposite shifts, and then I think we worked together back in 2021. We was on the same shift, and I always seen you, hustling and had something going on and working on music, and I always seen you grinding. I was like, boy, my boy Nune is about his business, man.
Yeah, man. Like I've always been very, very creative, man. So I love using my time wisely and doing our job. We have our busy times, then we have our slower days, stuff like that. So I always try to utilize every minute, every hour to my best benefit, man. So using my creative endeavors, I kind of just reuse that time to focus on all these other aspects, the ideas I have, passions that I have, and just trying to get as much out and put out as possible, using my time.
Oh, 100%, man. And I think it was Dr. Miles Monroe. He said, you know what the richest place in the world is? The graveyard. Because there's a lot of people that go to their grave with all their gifts still in them. And like what you just said about trying to get it out there, you got to get what the Lord put inside of you out there, because, your gift isn't for you. It isn't for you. It's better to give than to receive. And like you
It is.
trying to get it out of your head and get it down on paper or get it out there and to people, I think that's what the gift is for the world.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man, because definitely God has been the biggest reason, for me even wanting to do the music side, of becoming an artist. And there was a period of time in the hip hop industry where, the music started kind of gearing toward more of the what's called the drill music, and it's very successful for a lot of artists.
Say
It's
that one more
called
time.
drill music.
Drill?
Drill. Yeah, drill
Okay.
music. So the
Okay.
drill music it kind of focuses on more like the street life mentality, kill or be killed mentality,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's entertainment for a lot of the youth, but it's real life stories that a lot of these artists live through and they put out in the music, but kids look up
Yeah.
to us, as artists, and people don't realize the influence that entertainers have,
Sure.
so over time I started feeling that influence and I would see the influence grow around me, and it definitely goes away from God. A lot of the mentalities that kind of get stuck living in, So after going listening to the music, and I just like, man, I just want some music that's gonna fuel me. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be positive, uplifting, motivational. And it
Right.
was so seldom that I would hear it on the radio. That's what kind of caused me to want to really just start. I was like, man, if nobody else gonna do it, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just start right now my feelings. And it just grew and grew and grew. That fire kept flaming up. And eventually you have what you see here. Noon they came with some propane.
I love it, man. That fire, huh?
Yeah. That
Yeah, I
fire.
like it,
Yeah.
man.
Once that fire got started, it ain't never stopped, man. It just keeps growing. The passion has grown. I've learned so much because of my passion for wanting to do encouraging, uplifting music. And I really want to be a positive influence. It's more than just entertainment for me. It's really about lifting up the youth and giving them a different mindset. Because music is thoughts. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever thoughts you allow yourself to take in and receive, what I'm saying, they can have an influence on your life, on your personality. If you're going through hardships and you listening to music that kind of put you in that negative mentality, that's going to stay in you and it's going to grow within you, you know. So I always felt like, man, I can make music that's going to uplift people to where, you know, if they hear a song and they might be feeling in a down mood, it's going to bring them back up and be like, man, all right, look, I don't need to be feeling like this when I can be feeling like this, and hope that grows, you know, and influence them to, you know, want to do right, want to do better, want to grow, you know, because there's so
Mhm.
much in this world that you can aspire to, you know. So I just always wanted to just be a positive influence, and that's what I maintain to do.
No, 100%, man. And there's different genres of music and different eras of music. And I grew up in the 90s, and, it's kind of like the thug life influence and, West Coast rap. And then it was East Coast rap. And then it came to the Southern rap and all that stuff. And then now I kind of look at it. Now they got mumble rap. And then I'm looking at some stuff today, and I downloaded YouTube Music or whatever. And so they got stuff popping up. And I'm like, there's some stuff on there, and it's got 100 million views or whatever it is, and some songs about Oxycontin and Novocaine, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
and I just put it on because I was curious of what it was, and it was all about, that, and I'm just like, you know, just like he was saying, is like whatever you listen to, whatever you think about, you're gonna become, and if a kid's gonna put on that, man, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. I want to try that. And it's just kind of like, what do you promote? What are you living up to? And it's just, we all go through our phases and everything, and you gotta
yeah.
listen to something, but before you know, you don't like it, and there's some stuff out there, but that's really cool, that message that you're trying to put out there, or that influence that you're trying.
Yeah, and I even add that to my influences. You know, some of my favorite artists are artists like Tupac Shakur. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
had his whole movement way back in the day, and people loved him
The goat.
because he actually had a. It was more than just music. You know, it was a
It
movement
was.
that he was trying to do. You know,
He had a message.
he had a very strong message, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
artists like him, and you know, right now a really popular artist is D1. He's also from
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana. He's doing very big things. I'm so proud that he's been able to rise above the static, and he is fighting for a better way, you know, a better mindset, better mentality, you know. And it's crazy to see how much opposition is going at him, you know, because these days it's almost like they don't flip the switch to where a lot of the bad things they try to make it seem acceptable or that is
Yep.
good. And a lot of the good things they have so much pushback, they try to make a lot of good things seem negative, you know. And
I
it
do.
bewilders me that we living in an age, you know what I'm saying, to where man, the youth probably just so confused that you know they don't know what's right or what's wrong, you know, because the entertainment is so powerful, you know, and everybody love, you know, I understand why we are so gravitated toward those types of music and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
just like entertainment and movies and stuff like that, we want the action, you know, we love the action movies, the
Sure,
explosive
sure.
scenes, we like the violence in the movies. uh it's just a
Yep.
big aspect of why we engage with the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? People don't like to be bored, you know, or people a lot of people don't even like to just be preached to, you know, especially when
Of
it comes to
course.
the youth. You know, they don't want to be preached to. They want to hear something that they feel, they you know, so man, it is being in our position is very we got a tough battle, you know what I'm saying? And I know that we're living in a spiritual time, and it really is a lot of spiritual warfare that we're dealing with these days, man. And I really feel like I'm on the positive side of that spiritual warfare, and I'm gonna fight for the youth. I'm gonna fight for what I know is right, and I'm gonna keep
Right.
making music that's gonna uplift, you know, and hopefully it makes a positive change. And you know, I got what over 20,000 followers on Instagram. You know, it's a novice beginning, but I
Mm-hmm.
started off with nothing. You know what I'm saying? I started off with zero. You know, so seeing zero go to 500, that's a proud achievement. Seeing that 500 grow to 1,000, then 10,000, now 20,000. Eventually, I'm gonna be at 100,000, then a million. You know, it's all about getting that exposure. You know what I'm saying, and doing things like this, which I'm so happy to be a part of. Man, is every little bit counts. You know, because people share, people like, and the more you put yourself out there to be exposed, then the greater your outcome is going to be in the long run.
Yeah, 100%, man. And that's about, getting out there, putting your true self out there. And what you were saying in the beginning was, that everybody wants to be around that excitement. And it's just like in high school, when somebody was fighting, you was like, oh, what's going on over here? And if you
Yeah,
even look at the
yeah,
UFC, if you look at the UFC now, and they got some of the biggest fights in the world, and everybody gets together Saturday night because they want to be around that excitement. They want to be around that explosion. And you was talking about
yeah,
that trick in between, and this is biblical. That now they think they, what's good is bad, and what's bad is actually good, and that's part of the trick. That's all biblical. That those that would
yeah.
that they thought that something was good is actually going to be considered bad, and something that was bad is actually going to be considered good. And
It does,
dude,
yeah,
with this past cycle that we've been to, and we're like on a slippery slope, even with this election cycle and everything that's been happening on, and just like all the
yeah,
trickery and deceitfulness, and I'm just like, man, it's crazy the times that we live in, and the stuff that the I guess the media puts out there. It's like, this is acceptable, this is acceptable,
yeah,
this is what everybody needs to be, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be like that, and I know I don't want my children to be like that. And
yeah,
what kind of positive influence are we putting out there? And you said nobody likes being preached to, and somebody on my podcast actually said 2 episodes again, this from Farm to Fire, these two guys, and I'm gonna butcher this quote all out of there because he told it to me, and I'm not gonna remember what it says. And it said, I think Saint Francis of Assisi said, preach always, but only use words when you have to, because nobody wants to be preached to. Nobody wants to be told, and oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. But when you're being a positive influence or you're being a good person, people are gonna look, and they might even be mad about it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Why is he doing that? Who does he think he is? Why does he think he's better than me? And it's like, he's just doing his thing, man. He's just like you was talking about this guy named
exactly,
One or
yeah,
whatever. People are attacking him for, putting what's in his soul out there. And I'm gonna have to check him out. I never even heard of him.
yeah. Definitely check him out, man. Because what you're talking about right now, that's exactly what he's going
Hmm.
through. And even it's crazy that even when you're trying to be positive, and everything that comes out you is all about being positive,
Hmm.
it can still be divisive. You know, to some people who not might not be ready for that message yet. You know what I'm saying? Because they still stuck in a
Right.
certain lifestyle. They still accept it. It's hard to get away from. So it becomes divisive, and but you got to overcome it. You got to continue to fight for what you believe in, like you said. So,
Hmm.
I got to give just a huge shout out to everything he's doing, because I definitely see that the message he's putting out, the things that I believe in, and he's overcoming that. You know what I'm saying? He's not backing down from those that's coming against him. And I just
That's good.
applaud him and just salute him, because he is doing what's right, regardless of who can't see it right now. The message is getting through. The youth hearing it. He's growing in stature, and you can't deny the truth. You can't deny God's favor. So that's one thing, like, people won't, you can't deny God. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see God, you're gonna hear
Right.
God. God works through different people, and you just can't deny it. So, like I said, just shout out to him, man.
Yeah. Tell them stay steadfast, man. And I mean, it's worth it at the end of it all. Because I mean, if you're called to do something and you don't do it, I mean, that's on you. It ain't on anybody else. Because I think the Bible said many are called, but few actually answer the call. So praise God for people that actually answer the call. And
Yeah, and when you
you know,
answer that call, when you answer that God's calling for your life is
mhm,
going to get better, man. Like I said, I went through my divorce and all of that type of stuff, and during those times, man, I was at my worst health, because all of my energy was so drained into trying to put it into this and trying
sure,
to put it into that.
bet,
You know what I'm saying? Or aspiring to do other things, and just being held back, emotionally. Um, and it took a while to be able to just overcome all of those types of things. And then once I started embracing my passion and living for what was inside of me that was screaming, like when you have a real passion, it's gonna scream. You're gonna wake up with it in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You can go to sleep with it at
come
night.
on,
You know, like it
yeah,
won't cut
come on,
off. And you got to understand, like, that's like hearing voices. You know, they say people that's crazy, they hear voices. That's like hearing voices, you know, but sometimes God is calling you to do something. So for you, you are hearing voice, you hearing the voice of God, you know, and he's trying to push you in the direction that he's leading you towards, you know, and you might not see the end goal, but you will understand that you need to start making steps toward this this calling, you know, and everything is
Mm.
going to kind of eventually calm, you know, it's going to calm down. Those voices are going to get quieter, you know, because you're actually living your purpose, you know, and your spirituality going to grow. Like, man, I feel so great, you know. My mind space, my health has gotten so much better, you know. I'm so much happier. So, you know, just living my passion and living what I feel like God has placed on my life. um I definitely feel like it helps in regards to your physical being too, you know, emotionally, mentally, and physically, because my health has gotten better and I'm just living. I have something to live for, you know. I have something that's passion fueled, and I have something to just aspire to be, you know, and that's a great thing to have.
Oh, 100%, man. And I think we touched this on in our warm up or whatever. It's like, the Lord gave you a vision, and vision is unrestricted sight, so even when obstacles pop
Yeah.
up, it's not like you're dissuaded by those obstacles. You just keep going because you know you're on the right track. And if you're doing what you're called to do, and you're fighting a good fight, you got energy in your tanks. But whenever you're doing something and it's not working, it's just like you're putting stuff inside an empty bucket and there's a hole in the bottom. It just, like you said, your health's going to start failing, and you're going to be fighting the whole time. And I mean, I'm a fighter, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to fight everybody all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, man. And like I
yeah,
said, like I think I said I say eventually those voices are calm. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But that's kind of just saying that's a different way of saying you're finding peace within yourself. You know what I'm saying? When
sure.
you get to that point, to when you living, man, it just it's so much peace within you. You know, that's why it's so beautiful. So I just tell everybody out there that if you aspire to be something, aspire to have a job, aspire to start your own business, you know, take those first steps. You know, you never
Mhm.
know where it's gonna lead you, but as long as you acting on your passion, it's gonna help you grow. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be at peace within yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't never have to wander, you know, because you're acting and you're living, you know, and things that might, you know, one thing might lead to the next thing, you know. You might want one thing, but that wasn't the end goal that God had planned for you, you know. So you kind of go through these stepping stones, but you got to start walking. You got to start walking toward it, you know, and listening to your inner being and just going for it.
Yeah, and I mean, it might change along the ride. It might be a little different direction, but you'll never get on the path if you don't start. And
Exactly. Yeah.
everybody's gonna be terrible at whatever they do when they first start, but don't get dissuaded. It's just kind of like what I seen with my kids, and my youngest daughter, she was always, I can't do this. This is too hard. She would throw it down. I said, come on, baby, you'll get it. And
Yeah.
after she figured something out, she just look at me. I'd be like, I told you could do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So where you living now, man?
I'm out here in New Iberia. I've been out here a couple years. Like I told you earlier, I do love it. I love where I'm at in the country, you know, around these sugarcane fields and stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I don't feel like it's my last home. Like I aspire to have more, you know, to keep continuing to build. You know, I love to travel and stuff like that. So like I joke
Sure.
with my girl all the time, you know, about, man, we're gonna go to Thailand. We're gonna go move to Thailand. You know, so I'm always online and I'm looking at condos, I'm looking at different
Of
types of homes, you know, because it's so different, you know, different cultures. And
course.
that, you know, like I said, I love traveling. So the fact that I've had the opportunity and God has blessed me with the resources to be able to travel here and there, going out the country. I think I've been out the country more times than I've been in the States, you know.
That's
And
good.
you know, we travel, go state to state doing our job and stuff like that, working these turnarounds.
Right.
But man, nothing is like going out of the country and seeing an entirely different culture, like going to China. You know, I've had the opportunity to go to China and walk the Great Wall of China, walk up there, you know,
Wow.
being in the middle of Tiananmen Square. You know, way back in the day, I think they had a big uprising out there, and they had the military tanks that was just crushing people and stuff like that.
Oh,
That was
wow.
that was protesting. So it was amazing to get to stand there and just man, everything is so grand and just so you see it on TV, but to be there and it's a whole different story, man. So it's like I want to do more of that. I want to go to
Yeah,
Egypt. I want to see what the pyramids look like in person. You know,
of course.
all those types of things, man. So that's
Yeah.
that's what
So
I
we're
look forward to in the future. I don't know where I'm
uh,
gonna live permanently. Like my forever home. I don't know if you started building your forever home for you and your family, or not, or if
uh-huh.
you're still planning on doing more. But uh, I'm at a point right now that I love where I'm at, but I still have ideas about and everything is so open. Like I don't have to live in Louisiana. I don't have to live in Texas or in the United States. Like my
Right.
mind is so open. The world is so much bigger than people imagine. The culture, that's one thing that I love, man. Just seeing these different cultures. So
No, it opens your mind up, man, and you realize that when you go to some of these places, how bass backwards we have it here, and then in some ways how good we have it, we don't appreciate it, man. That's one thing I've seen from my travels outside the United States. Is like we take a lot of stuff for granted, and kids take a
we
lot of
do.
stuff for granted. And like I've heard these people talk about all this stuff. The United States is the worst country in the world. I'm like, no, it's not. Like
No, it's
it's
not.
one of the greatest ones, but we take a lot of stuff for granted, like all these big shiny grand new cars and everything. But I'm
Hmm.
heading down to Mexico in January for a little mission trip. And look,
Okay.
they like financially poor and everything. They're a little bit more financially poor than we are, but like spirit wise, family wise, they got everything figured out perfect. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
I
cool.
see
Like
that too. Yeah.
yeah, like you were saying, like it's really cool to step foot on different, areas and get the dust of the nations on your feet. Man, that's really cool.
Yeah. Did
Oh,
you I remember did you end up going to Israel?
I did.
Did you have
Yep.
a mission in Israel?
We did. We went out to Israel for 9 days in
Okay.
2021. Yeah, and it was super
Yeah.
cool, man. Everybody was like, oh, it's gonna be dangerous. You're gonna be all right. And we said we'll be fine. And everywhere we
Yeah.
went, it was just super cool. We went to Jericho, a 6,000-year-old city. We went to Jerusalem, the city with all the walls around it. We went to the Mount of Olives, all the
Yeah.
stuff out the Bible. The Sea of Galilee. And we saw it with a great group, and we had a tour guide that bar none, he knew more about the Bible and biblical history and the history of Israel than anybody. And it's just
Yeah.
cool
And
to
I
see.
bet, man, cuz for him
Mhm.
to live out there, to
Yeah,
be a native of that part of the land, man, I bet you that was a great trip, man. I wish I get the opportunity to go out there one day, just to
yeah,
embrace that culture and to hear from the people that live out there and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I
I got
definitely put that on my bucket list too.
yeah. If you need a contact or whatever, Moran Rosenblitz, he's one of our guys that is a contact out there, and he could hook you up with some information about it.
All
If you
right,
are
cool,
interested,
cool.
just let me know.
Yeah, I
Um,
got you.
so so well, you was telling me about where you live, man, and I was trying to get you to tell me about those rabbits that came out here. I say, kill your rabbits, and you was like, no, I ain't killing my rabbits. And we was getting into you said you had
Yeah.
a hunting story.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's what we was talking about. So when I did come up, my dad, like I told you earlier, my dad was a big hunter.
Hmm.
We had the rabbits, we raised rabbits, we had the pigeons, we had the hunting dogs, the beagles and stuff like that. So I
Hmm.
grew up around a lot of that country lifestyle, and my dad got us into hunting early. And then one year, this is why I stopped going hunting. And so one year it froze. I don't remember what year it was, but it was one of the coldest winters we had seen in our area, in Opelousas area. Like I remember waking up, and I was a kid. I probably was maybe 12, 13 years old at that time.
Okay.
So my dad woke me up middle of the morning, son, get up. You want to go hunting? I'm like, yeah. I roll out of bed, excited to go hunting. Because I just really started getting into it. I've been on maybe about
Hmm.
6, 7 hunting trips. So it's always exciting, always fun. I then got my first couple rabbits. And so, I
Sure.
was always proud of being able to shoot and hit the target and stuff like that. So he woke me up. woke my little brother up. We all went on a trip, but man, it was so cold. It was my first time going hunting where it was cold, like it was cold that day.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I was the type of person, man. I always obeyed my parents, like really, like my dad would tell me, "Hey, son, you hunt right here. You stand by this tree. We gonna run the dogs. You stay right here. We gonna run the rabbits gonna come towards you."
Sure.
So me and my little brother, we real different. I love my brother. My brother take after
Uh-huh.
my dad. I take more after my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he told the same thing to my little brother. Son, go over here. Your brother gonna be over there. We're gonna run, the beagles, and we're gonna run the rabbits towards y'all. Y'all just be ready. Keep your eyes open. My brother don't listen. My brother, see, as soon as my dad got out of sight, my brother was hunting. He was the type, look, I'm not staying here. I'm not about to just gonna stand here, look around. My brother gonna walk through the woods. He gonna explore, all that type of stuff. And me, I'm just like, all right, daddy. And I listen to daddy. Daddy said, stay right there. I stayed right by the tree where he told me. Man, I
Mhm.
swear, man, it got so cold. It got so cold. I started freezing. Like literally, like I was freezing. I was so cold. I ended up having to sit down and man, look, I'm not even embarrassed to say it. I was a kid, going through it, but man, I was so cold. I balled up beside this big tree in the woods. That's how cold I was.
Uh-huh.
I had to ball up. I had to, do everything I could to kind of keep that body warmed up while they hunted. And
Mm-hmm.
lo and behold, man, I seen a rabbit come. The rabbit come, and the rabbit wasn't even running fast. Like it was sneaking by, real slow. Could have had the
Uh-huh.
perfect shot, man. I lifted my gun, man, and I couldn't even squeeze the trigger. That's how cold I was. My finger was
Oh
froze.
man.
I couldn't even squeeze the trigger to shoot. But man, they eventually they did find me, you know what I'm saying? And we had to cut that little hunt trip short to make
Yeah.
sure I was safe and stuff like that because I was so cold, man. My first thing when I get home, tell my mom upset, my mom threw me in a hot tub of water. Now I don't know
Ooh,
if you
Lord.
know if you freezing and you get in some hot water while your body cold like that, it's like your body feels like it's breaking into pieces. It feels like literally like
Uh-huh.
you got a block
Pain.
of ice and you hit it with a hammer and breaking it apart. And man, to say I was 13 years old, 12, 13, I still remember to this day her throwing my little behind in that tub while I was freezing, and it felt like every bone in my body broke that day, man. And guess what else it broke?
Uh-huh.
It broke my mentality for wanting to go hunting because after that, man, it took it. I did go hunting eventually, but man, I swear it probably was years later before my dad was able to, son, you want to go hunting? And I was like, all right, I'll go hunting. But
Yeah.
man, that was a story that I just ain't gonna ever forget, and I felt like that was a funny story to share,
Yeah.
because I know
It
you
is
you
funny.
like hunting.
Hey, I do. I do. That shocked your body and your spirit, huh?
It shocked my body and my spirit, man. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I definitely remember coming up as a kid. It's something I ain't gonna never forget. But you learn from things. I learned don't get in no hot water if you freezing.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
know what it's gonna do to your body, and I know what it's gonna do to your spirit. So look, I just telling everybody out there, if y'all ever experience that, don't throw y'all kid in no hot tub of water if he end up coming from outside freezing. Let him
Uh,
cool off something, you know.
yeah. Put them in
Yeah,
room temperature water, huh? Yeah.
yeah,
No,
something, do something. Yeah.
that's advice from Noon right there. Yeah, because I remember I was duck hunting back in, this is probably in 2018, and we was out there and it was real cold, and I was just standing in the water with my waders on, and both my toes were hurting so bad. And I told my buddy, man, I think I got frostbite. He said, where? I said, in my toes. He says, they hurt? I said, yeah. He said, we ain't got frostbite, because if you had frostbite, you wouldn't feel your toes anymore. We'll
You
keep
ain't gonna
on.
feel them. Yeah, yeah,
I was just
yeah.
like, this hurts, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
But
cool.
but
Tell me, can you share the story behind one of your favorite songs?
okay. Let's see. So one of the songs, I actually shot the video for this song myself. A lot of the things I learned along the way was to save money. Sometimes you can learn how to do certain things that you will pay other people to do.
Of course.
So along with getting to starting to do music, I learned how to record music. And do you know Jay? Do you know Jay Robillard? Have you worked with him before? Jay Robillard.
No, no, I don't think I
So
have.
he's an
Doesn't sound
inspector. He's an
familiar.
inspector too. He played
Okay.
in bands and stuff like that. And I got to give him a shout out because he helped me so much when I first started doing music. Man, we used to sit down and we would talk about music, and he taught me the engineering side. He taught me about
Okay.
how to use the
Are you?
software and stuff like that to record your own
You're
music,
not
how to
talking
use the
about
DAW,
You're not talking about Jason Rabelais, huh?
Rabelais. I don't know. I might be saying his name wrong. We call him J Ro. J
Yeah. Go
Ro.
ahead, man.
And he worked
Yeah.
well, yeah, whatever the case. Shout out to J Ro, because that's my boy. He taught me so
J.
much
Rowe.
in
That's
regards
right.
to learning how to yeah, he taught me so much into learning the engineering side of doing music. So that was one more thing that I added to my belt, because when you're doing music, you have to learn how to do the software. You have to learn how it
Sure.
ain't just about hitting record and then you just record your voice. There's a lot of aspects that goes into the engineering side and making your music sound professional. So he taught me all the aspects that really just kind of fueled the fire of me learn realizing that, man, I can do this on my own. I don't have to pay somebody to do this, you know. So along with coming with that, then it came with the videos, and man, it was like $300-400 to get somebody to shoot a video for you. And I was like, man, I could spend $400 and buy the camera myself.
Mhm.
So man, I
That's
learned
right.
how to set things up, set scenes up. It don't matter if I'm by myself or all by have a helping hand. I can always set my camera up, get a shot the way I imagine it, and record, and then the magic comes in the editing process. So I shot this video for this song. I think I did this one in 2022, and it's called Hitting God's Line.
Yeah. That,
This was
I
this
like.
was after my divorce, so I kind of touched on my divorce and stuff like that, and and it kind of was really like a talk to God, you know,
Right.
because I was so attuned and aware of the bad influence of the music, that was just real popular, like they would play on the radio and stuff like that. So I started writing down exactly what it feels like,
Those
to
emotions.
indulge. Yeah, I wrote those emotions down to what it feels like to indulge in that type of music and what it
Hmm.
does to you spiritually, you know.
Right.
Um, and that's why I named it Hitting God's Line, because throughout the whole rap, I'm actually pretty much talking to God and I'm asking God, and I know they say it's not good to question God, but throughout the song, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm questioning God, and I'm, at the same time I'm talking to him and I'm giving him my insight about what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling and the effects of the music and all of that. And I love the song. I have so many fans that I've gained just from this one song. And it's a beautiful thing when people can hear not only the passion that you're putting out in the music, but they're actually receiving the message that you intended. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say Hitting God's Line is one of my favorite songs. The video is on YouTube. Uh
Hmm.
can I share my
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah. No. You can share it now, and I'm gonna let you share and give a shout out and tell everybody how to find it. Then share it right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the song Hitting God's Line is Hittin. I didn't put the G on it, so it's Hitting God's Line. Uh y'all can find that on YouTube and just search for the title of the song and my name, Nune, aka Mr. Propane. I always represent with the headbands.
For
Uh
sure.
but it should be easy to find. Kind of, well, yeah, it's not on the screen in the back of me, but if y'all just type my name in, y'all should be able to find my channel. If y'all rocking with me, go ahead and subscribe. I have a lot more content coming up because I do have a lot of good opportunities that I've derived, that I've been working on for a long time. Uh, so it's definitely another chapter of me with my music and stuff like that. So I'm definitely proud of where I'm going. Proud of the things I've done so far, and I just like taking that next step.
Man. And I actually,
That's,
I
that's where
think
I'm at.
I listened to it back the first time you told me about it in 2021. Checked out some of your music. I
Mhm.
liked it then. I just listened to a couple of your new stuff just now, and I actually listened to Hitting God's Line just a minute ago. Still fire, man. But I love what
Yeah,
you're doing
thank you,
out there,
thank you.
man. Yeah. Is there any way you could share
Appreciate it.
what you got kind of on the horizon upcoming?
Yeah, I definitely can. So another endeavor. So being in the music industry is probably one of the hardest things to do because especially these days, I would say there probably millions of people that aspire to be a music artist or in the entertainment industry.
Sure.
Excuse me. I'm pretty sure if you go to any school and you ask the kids, what do y'all want to be when y'all grow up? A lot of them are going to say a rapper, a singer, or something in the entertainment industry. Um, but it is very challenging to become popular and to grow audience, even with social media, because these days it's not about talent; it's more about popularity. So
Of
you
course.
can be a more popular artist just by being a more popular person, not based on your talent, but based on your personality, the antics that you might be able to do online that get people to follow you and want to see you act crazy and just do all kind of stuff. But
Well, that's just
a
like
lot
our
of the
industry, Noon. It's just like sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know.
yeah, that's definitely true. That's a big aspect of it too, man. It's about who you know. That's a big part of it. So a
Yeah.
lot of those things, I decided because I made a lot of mistakes coming up, in regards to marketing, in regards to feeling like you can do everything on your own, that you don't need nobody else. It's always good to have a partner or people around you that are a part of the industry you're trying to become a part of. So I learned the hard way that, man, look, I'm putting money into this, not utilizing resources the right way. But
Right.
I did
Right.
learn from all of those things. Sometimes it take a loss to learn from it.
Hmm.
And so over
Yeah.
time, I started writing down all these things, and I actually have my first book. So
Okay.
this book right here is called Music Industry Essentials. It's not out yet, but this is kind of like a little quick preview. This is my first book I've written, and it kind of details all of the marketing endeavors that I've had as an artist trying to come up and break into this industry as a mainstream artist. I
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
everything from social media. I talk about everything from branding. How to get your brand. And another thing about brand, if y'all see what I'm wearing, this is a apparel called Second to None. Um,
Hmm.
this is actually my cousin's. He's my cousin, and he's more than a cousin because that was my round. That's what I came up with. That was like my dog who everywhere
Right.
we
Right.
went together, coming up, that type of thing. So he's definitely doing great with his apparel business. Like I said, it's called Second to None. He can be found on social media, but having a
Shout out.
brand is a big part of becoming an artist because you definitely want to set yourself apart from everybody else, and you want to be remember. You want people to remember you. And if you just blend in with everybody else, it's hard to find that lane to where people can recognize you in a haystack, right? So I
Right.
talk about building your brand, um, how to market properly. I learned how to do Google ads, how to use social media the right way, um, and just pretty much all the hurdles that I went through and the mistakes that I made in this endeavor of becoming a music artist. And I wrote it in this book, and it kind of goes through all of that type of information. Um, Everything y'all can see here, I did myself. I did the cover art. uh book. Y'all can see it's a good read. It ain't no little small book, but I did everything. Everything is in color. The images and things of that nature. Y'all see Opelousas right here. Y'all can see me.
Yeah,
Um,
there you go. Yeah.
but
See,
I put
you even put pictures in there for people like me. You know what I mean?
yeah, I definitely got the pictures in there. Everything's in
Good.
color. It's a hard copy. I will have the book published on Amazon as well. Um, this is a part of my brand, because
Sure.
I have so much information and so many things that I want to share. I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I made if they can avoid it. So this book is kind of like my gift to other people who aspire to be in the music industry, and y'all can get this book and y'all be able to read it, and y'all can hopefully avoid a lot of the obstacles that I went through. Y'all save yourself some money, save yourself some headaches, and y'all just learn from somebody that's been through it and been going through it. But
Right.
this
And
book will be out. It's gonna come out next year. It'll be on Amazon if you want to get the ebook version. But I suggest y'all get the hard copy. I put a lot of work into it, made sure everything is high quality. So it's definitely something that's gonna look good on y'all bookshelf. Um, and I've been working on my next project that I'm gonna release. I dropped a mixtape called Over the Influence, and it did over 1 million streams. But I only dropped it on a mixtape platform, Audio Mac. But it did so well, was so well received. Um, I'm doing a revamp of Over the Influence as an album. So that's going to be released on Spotify, Apple Music, all the major platforms, Tidal. So I'm still trying to come up with the perfect release date. I definitely think I'm going to release that because that's one of the great things that I've accomplished recently is that now I can publish my music with Universal Music Group. So now I
okay.
kind of got the middleman out of the way to where now I can kind of directly engage uh, with Universal and use that platform, use their tools, use their marketing, and I can release music at the rate that I want to. If I want to release an album a week from now, I can go in myself, put in my password, log in, and get everything published. And having that universal uh, distribution, that's a great asset because Universal is one of the biggest music distribution companies in the world.
Is that like
A
Universal
lot of
Records or
artists.
whatever it is?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Good.
Universal Music
Congrats,
Group.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
Congrats.
man. I'm definitely gonna be releasing that project. I have a release date for that real soon. Um, I just have a lot of things going on, like and a
That's
lot more
good, man.
things to aspire to. Like still working partnerships because networking is another big part of things. And I have a lot of great people that's in my life that are helping me along the way. To just continue to grow and just achieve. So.
No, that's
Besides
all.
those things, man, I'm just living life. I'm enjoying my time off of work. Cause you know how it is when we working, man. We work hard. We put a lot of time away from the
712s,
family.
baby.
We put a lot of
Hmm.
Yeah, man. We put a lot of time, and we just rocking. So just having that time to just relax and spend time with your family. That's more important than anything. So I'm glad to just kind of have that time to be able to spend with my family. Me and my girl, we about to go to Las Vegas in 2 days. Yeah, we shoot out Thursday. So we're gonna be in Vegas for a week, so we can go enjoy ourselves, and hopefully I might be able to make some opportunities out there. I'm always looking to do things like that, meet new people, socialize, network, and
That's
and just
great, man.
enjoy myself, man. I don't think I'm gonna spend
No.
too much money at the casino. My girl gonna have to watch my pockets. So,
Yeah. Hey, them
but who
lights and
knows?
them no
I
clocks in
might
there
win
will
a little
get you, man.
something.
Hey, you
Yeah,
never
yeah,
know,
yeah,
man. Hey,
definitely.
you
You
never
never
win if you
know.
don't play. No, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool
true.
that you got that book coming out because you can't make all the mistakes by yourself. And
Yeah,
it's good having good experienced people around you because they done seen stuff. They kind of know what works, what doesn't work, and sometimes it's good to learn from both people. The type of people that have made it and the ones who didn't make it because you can learn something from both of them.
from
You
both
know,
of them. Yeah, exactly,
yeah. And
exactly. I agree with that
I like
100%.
I like what you said about branding yourself, and this is something it's kind of in my spirit right now. It's like when you brand yourself, you're branding the authentic you. And if, like what you said, is like if you just blend in or you change with everybody around you, you never actually come up with your brand because you're just kind of a floating brand and you just kind of float through the crowd. So that's pretty cool what you
Yeah,
just said about that.
exactly, man. Brand is more than a logo. It's
Yeah,
more than just a little picture that you can post on, your marketing advertisements and stuff like that. A real brand is something that you live every day. And as you can see, like this style, when it comes to your fashion, when it comes to your look, when it comes to the logos and the marketing aspects of your avenue, whatever it is, whether it's a business or whether you're an artist or anything like that, all of those things come together as one. And I speak about that in detail in my book, you know, and you have to live your brand, for people to be able to recognize it. So people, especially when you're utilizing social media, people are seeing these posts and these, especially if you're marketing right, people are seeing your
right.
face, people are seeing your brand, and they might not know who you are, but they're seeing you, they're seeing your appearance, they're seeing how you look. And the more times you put that brand in people's mind, over
Hmm.
time people recognizes it, you know. So that's a big part of growing as an artist or as a business. You want people to start to recognize when they see you or your brand and understand, know exactly who it is, and it
Right.
takes time. Everything
Yeah.
takes time for people to just to recognize it. That's what they do with the music. You know what I'm saying? They might have a song, you might hear it, you might hate the song, but they might play this song so many times and you hear it so often and it's so repetitive that you
Sketchy.
start
Sketchy.
remembering. You start
Hmm.
remembering it. And once you start remembering it, you start singing along with it. And eventually, a song that at first you didn't even like, but because of the repetitiveness of hearing it, it leans on you. You start get that muscle memory, and you remember things, and it becomes a part of you really. Because it's in your
Oh yeah.
mind. Those you just recognize it. So it's the same thing with your brand, and building your brand is one of the biggest aspects of developing yourself or your business. And I've had more than one business. I've done a home inspection. You know, my business. I had the smoke shop. I did that thing
Hmm.
for a while. That actually didn't work out because the laws and stuff changed so much in regards to that industry. And to be honest, man, while I was in the smoke industry, uh, I always had like a feeling like like vaping. Like I still vape to this day. I vape. I didn't even vape
Right.
before I started my smoke shop.
Oh
So
really?
a lot of kids gravitate toward vaping because it's so easy to access, and it's not like like the cigarettes and all that type of stuff. It's
It
easy to
don't
have in your
stink. You don't have
pocket.
a
You can
smell on you. Yeah, it's
exactly,
easy.
exactly. So a lot of
Hmm.
so they change the laws and stuff like that, and people will come in, even people old enough, of course, to purchase these things. I would tell them if they haven't tried it, I always tell them,
Don't
I'd be
try it.
like, no, stay away from it because vaping is more addictive than cigarettes. All this other type of stuff you just don't even imagine because it's so easy to just grab. You can be in a house, in a store, in a car. It doesn't bother people like smoke does. And you just you won't you're not gonna want to put it down. So I
No. Well,
always try to lead people against
that's
it.
just that's just like everybody. You stop at a convenience store almost once a day, whether you're using the bathroom or whether because you need a drink or whether because you need gas. But you go in a convenience store because it's convenient. And what you do whenever you see in there, oh,
Yeah,
I need this, I need that, and it's just like
you
that
need this,
vaping or
you need
whatever.
that. Yeah,
I re- I remember my buddy like he had those. Oh, I put this strawberry in here and I put over here and I put this vanilla, it's strawberry milk, and he'd be loving it just because it tasted like strawberry milk. And this was 10 years ago and
yeah,
everything. And just like you were saying, they changed the laws because all those kids had all those little delicious flavored little vape cartridges or whatever. And it was just, oh, this tastes
yeah,
delicious. You should try this. And it was like, it's like candy
yeah.
for them. And
It
it got
is,
out
it
of
is,
hand.
man. And
Mhm.
like I said, I always just kind of felt a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Even though that was the business I
Yeah.
decided to get into because
Sure.
it was something that was popular and I saw it from a profit standpoint. But the more that I did it, the more uneasy I would feel. So I just thought I would always tell people, man, look, oh, you never raped before? Don't. I was like, if you haven't
Yeah.
started, do not even start. And I tell people, a lot of people, of course, we adults and stuff like that. We're gonna do what we want regardless. But I
Of
always did
course.
try to get that warning to people. Look, man, this is a hard habit to get rid of. So if you haven't started, I'm telling it to everybody else out there, no shame on anybody that vapes. I vape myself,
Of course.
but it comes from experience, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a hard habit to shake if you ever decide, hey, look, I'm tired of doing this or I don't want to do it no more. It's just one of those habits. So if you can avoid as many habits as you can in life,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you
Because I
know,
mean, I
any
got a
bad
few.
habits for sure.
Yeah, I got a few of them that I try to. I still try to shake, and I struggle with from time to time. I'm just glad that vaping wasn't one of them. I'm glad that pain pills wasn't one of them because they got a lot of people out there that struggle with that stuff and end up in bad spots. But
Yeah,
like I tried vaping, I tried dipping, and that wasn't for me. I quit cigarettes a long time ago, so I'm blessed. I'm not standing on
yeah,
top of a high mountain looking down at everybody. I promise you that,
yeah, yeah,
because I
yeah. It ain't
because
about
I,
it. It definitely ain't about that.
no, I got my own struggles. You know what I mean? And that's I see a lot of that stuff because I know a certain lady that's near and dear to my heart. And boy, when she can't find a vape, boy, she's freaking out, boy. And I'm just like, gosh,
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I said, man, I
Yeah.
always just try to give a little heat of warning. That's something that I feel personally, and I just want to share it to everybody else, man. Like that's one of those is a habit that's hard to get rid of. So if you haven't tried it, I suggest that you just stay away from it. There's so much other things you can, get yourself into besides vaping. Get
No,
your little fidget
no, that
spinner or something.
there you go. That's good looking out. That's good looking out. So with your style of music, how do you stay creative and authentic to your style with the expectations of hip hop and the culture?
Man, I actually don't follow expectations. I did go through a period where I started realizing the type of music that the industry would more commonly accept, and these days it's more about trends. That's why you hear
Okay.
such similar music in regards to the industry or the mainstream side of the music industry. Um, you have one artist come out with a hit song and people likes the music and stuff like that, you're gonna hear another artist that sounds similar with the same message. And I think that's where
Oh,
the hip hop industry has gotten watered down because man, back in the day they had so many different style of artists, and it wasn't even just about the style. It was the style and it was the actual mind and the thoughts that came out of the music.
no,
Everything was
I
varied.
do.
They had way more different messages, in music, to where now everything is repeating the same message,
No, and
so
and and that's one thing that frustrated me about music nowadays. Because back in the day, you was talking about like Tupac had a message, and then the East Coast had a message, and then the South Coast all had a certain type of message,
yeah,
and then now it's just like I found that a lot of that new hip hop or whatever, it's just a beat. They come up with like a beat, and it's not even like a new beat. It's just a beat, and then they just kind of say, money, cars, women's dope, and it's just like they all just kind of mimic and mouth the
yeah,
same thing,
same
and I'm just
thing.
kind
And
of
then
like,
what's crazy is, like back in the day, you know, even now the women sound like how the men used to sound.
yeah, they do.
The women rappers, man, the women rappers today, man, the women go hard. They really are
They do.
very, very talented, but
Yeah,
things has changed so much to where the men have the mindset of where the women have the mindset that the men have,
yeah,
and it's actually reflected in real life. Like you go out. I don't go out that often, but man, when I go out and things like that, I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like women live like how the players and the dope boys and all that used to live. Like
yep,
it's wild and crazy to see it. Like times have really changed so much, and over time things do change, things do evolve. Um, I just
No,
pray. I pray for all of us. I pray for the world. I pray for the people to be safe out there in the streets and going out at night in the clubs. When you're drinking, smoking, all that type of stuff.
mhm.
It's all about entertainment and just enjoying life and having a good time. But these days it's done got so dangerous. Because I ain't gonna say because, but there's a lot of influence that kind of pushes us toward that negative energy, and we living in it. You know what I'm saying? When you go
well,
outside,
well,
you know what I'm saying? Like the mindsets and all that. Like
well,
a lot
it's
of things is uneven.
Well, it's just like on
Go ahead.
Friday. Back in the day, it's like we used to always just fight it out, and then now it's just kind of like
Yeah,
back in Friday. Somebody's got a gun. They said, Craig, you solve it like this. You live to fight another day, and I got
yeah,
into a altercation with my son, and my son's 18, about to turn 19 now. He's like, Daddy, you don't understand. You got to have a gun now. I was like, why, son? He said, people don't fight anymore. You know what I mean? They shoot, Daddy, and I'm just like. And I hate to say it, but like way up here in northeast Louisiana and in southern Mississippi, like stuff like that happens. And in the big cities, I mean, it's a real big thing. And just like you're saying, you got to
yeah.
be careful out there because people don't fight anymore. And man, if anybody's got a little bit of that liquid courage in them, and somebody starts talking smack, and I mean, just like somebody said, not even Bruce Lee could whoop a bullet's ass, and it's just,
Yeah, yeah.
it's it.
And hey, that's very true, man. Like it is a very dangerous time these days, man. And
Hmm.
like I said, I wish more of that attitude that you don't have to pick up a gun, son. You know what I'm saying? You can always use these. I wish that message was was put out into the world more often. Because just
Yeah,
like the negativity can influence, the positivity can influence it the same way. It's just what's getting put out more. If more negativity is put out there, that's what we start to learn, and that's what we start to accept, and that's what we start to expect. And then when you
yep,
out there, everybody uneasy. You looking over your shoulder. You looking at the left, to your left and to your right. You don't know what he thinking. You don't know what he thinking. You only have what the world puts in front of us. You know what I'm saying? You know, to really see. But it really is a distraction, and it's really clouding our own judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not
no,
enough uh positivity, in my opinion, putting out there. Because if they had as much positivity put out as the negative entertainment, I think that would have more of a positive impact on the culture. You know what I'm saying?
a
In real
hundred
life,
percent.
you know.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, I thought
that's
it
why I
was
say I
really
just pray. I,
cool.
I pray for everybody, like just be safe out there, keep God first. If you're going through hardships, always lean on God. You know what I'm saying? You might not have a family on your side or the right friends, you know what I'm saying, to kind of lead you in the right direction. But always listen to God. Don't shut God out, because God will always try to speak to you, you know. So listen to your conscience, like I was at a church sermon, and the pastor, he talked about the numbing of your conscience. And it's like
Come
a
on.
lot of times people have conscience, and their conscience is loud and clear. God is speaking to you. You can hear when you're about to do something wrong. You feel bad. You know what I'm saying? You know you're about to do something wrong because you feel it inside. You know it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But you do it anyway, you know? And
Yep,
then
yep.
another opportunity happen. You set aside your conscience, and you go with that thought anyway, and do what God told you not to do. And eventually, it's like he said, it's like taking your conscience and putting it
Hmm.
against a sanding pad. And over time, as that sanding pad is spinning against your conscience, it wears it down. It wears it down. It wears it down until now you no longer can hear your conscience, because you've shut God out. You've shut that voice out to where now you can't hear it. You know. So I always just say,
Right.
I tell people, man, don't let your conscience uh be one of those things that you what's the word I'm looking for,
Ignore.
that you take for granted, pretty much.
Yeah.
Don't don't
Right.
don't
Right.
don't yeah, don't take your conscience for granted, you know. Um,
No, and the way I always think about it, and this is a weird way to think about it. You probably remember them cartoons from back in the day. Say like Bugs Bunny will be doing something, and he's got the little red guy on the shoulder over here, and he's got the little
yeah,
white guy, the white suited guy on the shoulder over
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and
You got the devil
one will
on
be
the head.
talking smack there. And sometimes he'll either pluck this one or he pluck this one out the way. You know what I mean? And if you pluck that
Yeah,
guy out the way enough times, he stops showing up. But
yeah.
getting back to what you were saying earlier about influences and all that, I thought it was pretty cool. John Jones, and we're talking about fighting and all this stuff. And my son, I told him one time, and I trained jiu-jitsu, and I always tell him, I said, son, if you learn how to fight, what I mean, you wouldn't need a gun. He's like, Daddy, you don't understand. Everybody shoot. And you got John Jones, who is arguably, but Joe Rogan and Dana White both said he's the baddest man on the planet. After that fight Saturday night, and he stood up there. And did you watch it?
Oh no, I didn't watch it.
So John Jones,
The last fight I watched. Go ahead, finish.
John Jones in his post fight, he's got Joe Rogan up there, and Joe Rogan is probably arguing to be the best podcast on the planet. He's got a huge following. UFC's got a huge
Yeah,
following.
definitely.
So he had hundreds of millions of people standing there, and he said, the baddest man on the planet, John Jones, congratulations. And he said, man, this is awesome. He said, I know everybody's watching this right now. He said, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, my Savior, for the talent that he's given me. And I want to give all glory to God for what he's given me, because this isn't me. And at the end of it, he's like, it's good to be an American. It's always so good to be a Christian American right now. And I was like, that's real right there. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
they were proclaiming he was the baddest man on the planet. And he said, I just want to give glory to God for this. This ain't me. This is him. And I was like, that's cool, man. That's where it's at right there.
You gotta give credit to where credit due, So yeah, that's a dope story.
Yeah, just check it out. Look it up on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I think the last fight I watched was the fight was that last night? Did you watch the fight last night with Tyson and Fury?
Tyson was on
not Fury. Tyson and Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, yeah.
Jake Paul, yeah, that was a fight last night. Did you watch it?
Neither of them look like the baddest men on the planet. That's all I could say.
Nah. All the fights before that there was some good fights before that,
Yeah, they
a lot of people was excited for that main fight, but man, look, I wish I definitely it was a waste of my time, honestly.
Hey, Tyson was the baddest boxer on the planet back in the day, but that was not Mike Tyson. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like it tarnished Mike Tyson's legacy by him doing that fight?
I think he sold his legacy for $20 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I disagree with it. I definitely don't think it tarnished his legacy. I don't know what his financial
situation,
position is in life.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is going through. Everything can look great from the outside view, but you never know what that man going through. So you always got to look at a lot of things are entertainment, especially when it comes to Jake Paul. He's an entertainer.
Oh, it's 100% entertainment. Like that show in the beginning.
Social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's mastered social media and getting an audience, So anything that comes with that type of person, you got to see it as just entertainment, Even in regard, like all of his fights, just kind of seem shady. Like it just seems like, to me, what I would say, like wrestling, and not no hate, for the wrestling fans, but it was more just like more the entertainment side of things, But so that's what I feel like. It didn't really tarnish his legacy. He got paid off of it. It was a big come up for him, $20 million. He did last 8 rounds and stuff like that. You can tell his age by how he fought. And he said he had an injury.
I saw him get hit a couple of times, and I saw it kind of ring him a little bit. I just felt like he was holding back. You know what I mean? I really did.
Yeah.
I saw some of his training videos, and that wasn't Mike Tyson. I was like, bite his ear, Mike, bite his ear.
Yeah, like, man, like, do what you was doing to that sparring partner you had, man. You was knocking that sparring partner block off, like,
Absolutely.
like, hey, and look, that's the magic of cinema. You know, like
Mhm.
man, you
A
have
hundred
a
percent.
camera, the right mindset, the right vision, you can create what you want people to believe and understand, you know,
Of course.
from your
Yeah.
content, you know. So it's like, man, he sold me when I saw all that promotional material from the boxing and him sparring and stuff. They make that look so clean, make it look so
Ooh.
powerful.
Hey,
But
you looked at
you
it.
know what
You
I'm
said
saying?
Mike.
At the
Mike
end of
is
the
gonna
day,
kill him. Mike
that's
is
not what
gonna
happened.
kill him. Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
hey,
But
just watch.
I
Just
saw
watch.
none of that aggression in the ring, you know. So it kind of was disheartening, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
I personally, I was like, man, look, I ain't even gonna let that tarnish his legacy because what he did back coming
Now,
up when he was at his strongest, man, he's definitely one of the greats, you know, if not the
oh,
greatest,
he's the
you know,
goat to
like
me, and he gives all props to Muhammad Ali. But to me, Tyson's the greatest.
yeah,
You know what I mean, of all time.
yeah,
Just like
man,
and look,
Tyson is a beast, yeah,
yeah, just like we talking about, Tupac was possibly the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan to me is the
yeah,
greatest basketball of all time. Tyson is the greatest boxer of all time. And just
yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, you know what? You know
I
what?
do not agree with all that.
Yeah.
Well, I can agree with all that, but
Oh, okay. I got you. Hey,
I
you know what
can
tripped
agree
me
with
out a
all of
while
that.
back? Yeah, yeah. You know what tripped me out a while back? I like Lil Wayne, man.
What's
And
up?
Lil Wayne, they asked Lil Wayne who the greatest, rappers of all time were. And you know who he said number one was? And it shocked me? Missy Elliott.
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
was just talking
yeah.
about, the evolution of female rappers and all that stuff. But Missy was like, she was the one that started it all. And like
Man,
he,
Look, Missy is one of the dopest. Man, she just one of the dopest artists. Period. Her
of
style,
course.
her cadence. Man, look, she
Yep.
dope. I can't. I gotta give it to her, man. She is definitely one of the greatest, man. So
Oh yeah,
can't say
for sure,
nothing
for
about
sure.
that.
Who if there was any artist, living or dead, that you could collaborate with, who would it be?
I've already collaborated with them.
Come on.
So yes, sir. So my biggest influence in music is this artist out of Houston, Texas. Uh, you might know Ghetto Boys.
I do.
That's
Willie,
Scarface and Willie
Willie D,
D,
Scarface,
Bushwick
and all those
Bill.
guys. Bushwick. Yep, yep,
So
yep.
all those guys are from a part of Houston called South Park.
Right.
Now the artist that was a huge influence and still to this day is my biggest influence in regards to music. His name is K Reno.
Never
Um,
heard of him.
I really believe out of K dash Rino. To this day,
Okay.
I still believe he's the greatest artist, rap artist to do music. And I love Tupac. I love
Mm-hmm. Of
Nas. I love, I always did for some reason I always did love like that classic hip hop,
course.
that sound that came out of New
The
York
90s.
and all
Mm-hmm.
that era, like I don't know why when I was young and coming up, that's what I used to listen to mostly, I
Yeah.
like artists like
That.
Bone Thugs and Harmony,
Yeah.
that was like some of my favorite artists coming up.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to
But
say it or whatever, but to me, the music back then was hard, and today it seems like it's fragile. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like it's like an
yeah,
imitation. You know what I mean? But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut
yeah,
you short.
yeah. Nah, but I agree. I agree with that 100%, man. I think things are watered down severely. I think the message that's out there is all part of an agenda, to keep a mindset on the youth, because you got to think. I see the correlation between the music industry, the prison industry, and all that type of stuff.
Mm,
And
come
people
on with the come
can
on.
come up with conspiracies and all kind of stuff. But a lot of big artists, they've spoken about the backdoor deals and the things involving the prison industry, and the influence that the music can have over a culture, you know, to fill up those prisons,
Oh yeah, it's
and
prison system is privatized.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a business. So I look at aspects of that, and that's one thing I always try to keep my eyes open for the reality of things, not just what they show us and what they tell us. You can't believe everything you see and everything you hear. You got to look for yourself. Same thing in regards to the politics. There's the left wing, a right wing. a middle, out of the green, and I don't know all of, I'm not too big on politics and stuff like that.
I
But in
understand.
regards to all of that, it's so divisive. And if you listen to one news station and you listen to a different one, you got to look at the people that's behind those news organizations. Everybody has an agenda, and I feel like we're in an age to where now, even from a political or government aspect, I feel like there's a lot of crooked politicians and stuff in our government. You know what I'm saying? That to where like a lot
I,
of things that are made is not on the behalf of the people. Like government was always to protect the people. To serve the
that's
people.
what
And
that's what
I
the word
definitely, I
that's what
just,
the words say.
yeah, yeah, same thing with the Constitution. But these days, everybody is kind of, like capitalism, the big industry, the big $1 trillion companies and stuff like that, they rule the world. They rule the politics. They own the media. You know what I'm saying? So when you start seeing things for what it is, you kind of get a bigger picture of how you have to live and how you have to view things, because everything that they try to show you or they tell you is not always in your best interest. People will tell you whatever you want to hear, to get your uh vote or to get your money, whatever, like so I always just look at all those types of things, and I kind of just tell people, man, try to see behind the lines, see behind what they show us, see behind the smoke.
Well, and I mean, the cool thing about you is you're a smart dude, and you always been, kind of, dealing at this, dealing at that, always, trying to run through stuff. And dude, I never believed in all these conspiracy theories, but I really think that they trying to dumb the country down. And because if you don't
Oh
know
yeah,
and you're not aware of anything, they can tell you anything they want you to. And in between this last election cycle that just went through, in between the last, you know, 4, 8 years, whatever it's been, like a lot of people's eyes been open because there's a lot of crooked stuff
yeah,
that has been taking place that we weren't aware of. But over the past, you say 4, 6 years, whatever it's been, it's kind of like it's becoming obvious in between, the police system and the government system and the media system. And it's just like some of the people that were totally against certain types of people, and this group hates this group and all this stuff. It's kind of like, man, well, something's going on over here. Why do they keep on trying to do
yeah,
this to this one guy? And
yeah.
it's a strange time we live in. It like you said,
It is,
it's
it
just like
is,
yes,
man,
you
and that's what I said. I think the most powerful thing in the world is influence. Whoever controls the influence controls the world. Like literally,
yeah,
like influence is just so powerful, man. And with the
absolutely,
media and the television, what I'm saying? Tell a vision. What I'm saying?
yeah,
You can tell the
I like
world
that. I like
whatever,
that.
you can show them whatever, you can show them whatever you want to show them. And people that's not in tune, you know, uh, like even my parents, certain things, she'll be watching a show. She watch this show out these people like in foreign country. I think it's like Thailand or somewhere like way in the woods. And
Hmm.
I'm attuned to entertainment, and I can see, oh, that's scripted. That's not real.
Sure,
They just
sure,
they just playing. They playing a role, but they
right,
can't tell. They might not be able to see the things that I see. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm more in tune with how entertainment is. To where I can see all the flaws in what they doing. I can see what's detailed, what was written. What was scripted, what's an act. But other people, just same thing with the news. You watch news and you listen to different politicians, and they're going to sell you on an idea. You know what I'm saying? Can they actually act on that idea and make it a reality? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You don't know at the time. You're just going off of based off what somebody says. You know,
right, right,
but
yeah.
you can look. You can always look on the past. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about the last 4 years or the last 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Like the last few years, man.
Mm,
You look at that and you can see what's real and what's fake. You know what I'm saying? You can see the promises,
100%.
and you can see what promises got fulfilled. Man, like you gotta really look behind what they try to show us and try to influence us to believe and
No,
live.
hundred
Look,
percent.
look, yeah.
and it's just crazy because, like you said, television or whatever, and it's just kind of like, to me, I always describe it as this. It's kind of like that movie, The Wizard of Oz. Hey, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtains. Just look at the great and powerful eyes. And it's just like George Soros bought like 250. His organization did. They bought like 250 news networks so they can kind of control the output or
Yeah.
whatever happened. And like with that flood up there in North Carolina, like the dam busted, the hurricane went up Florida, busted some kind of dams. And dude, I had a buddy of mine that I was actually working in Detroit Marathon with, and he had to go home because 14 miles from his house, a dam busted and it flooded 10,000 homes. And when he went home, he said there was thousands of bodies just laying on the side of the road.
Wow.
These people without homes, without vehicles, without food, without shelter. None of that on the news. They weren't showing any of that stuff. And like FEMA, like they were supposed to be bringing food, they were intercepting food that was coming in. And like he's like, Jad, I never would have believed it, but I seen it with my own eyes, and I trust this guy. And it's just crazy the perception,
Yeah.
that they try to say. And he's like, hey, you think they'll believe this? Let's tell them this story. And it's just like, you got to stay alert. And I got a buddy of mine, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he put tinfoil on my hat, and I was just like, man. He's like, I just don't know what to do. And I was like, bro, just stay alert. Tell people what you do know 100% sure. Don't spread rumors, but just watch out. Educate your kids. And just do the best job you can. Try to help people. And it's just,
Yeah.
I don't
True.
I don't believe that the government has our best intentions in mind no more, because like you said, influence is one of the most powerful things they
Not at
got,
all.
100%. So
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Have you seen recently they've now started announcing that the UFOs and all of that type of stuff are real? Have you been seeing that? How that's
I
become
haven't
such
been
a big thing in that over the
I
last week, it's become a real big thing. They've been on C-SPAN and they've been having a live media events where they're talking to the generals and all the people who kind of into that
no I
declassified information type of stuff.
no, no, I have not. But what I heard was anytime they make some kind of special announcement like that, there's some shady stuff going on behind the scenes you need to watch for. Now, I did watch that Joe Rogan and
Yeah,
Cat Williams episode when they talked about the aliens and all that stuff and all the sightings that they seen. And it used to be
yeah.
very awkward to talk about that. And it used to be weird if you ever talked about aliens. But the further we go along, the stories all start to line up and stuff like that. And
Oh yeah,
he
yeah.
was talking with he was
People don't think twice about it these days. It's like it's so
yeah, it's
part
common.
part of life. Like yeah, yeah. I don't even think if an alien showed up and landed on the top of the White House, I don't even think people would be surprised. People would just probably
No,
expect it.
not
People would probably
not as
be like,
crazy.
"Whoa, really?" You know what I'm saying? But I don't think people would just be like shocked. Like really? Like I
No,
don't think so, man. Like it's
they
it's
wouldn't
just it's
run like
crazy.
War of the Worlds back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People be out
No,
there with their phone taking pictures. Like people ain't scared. Like
no, I'm actually gonna have to look into that. No, I haven't been seeing an uptick, but that's what scares me. And whenever they make some crazy announcement, there's always something else going on behind the scenes.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, for sure.
what kind of vision are they telling on the television? I like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I definitely see myself remarried. I gotta say that first. So shout out to my boo. Uh, but
Glad you found
definitely remarried.
the right woman. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I found the right woman. So that's kind of on the horizon. Um, my music endeavors, I definitely continue to just follow my passion. Do what I feel like is right in regards to make the type of music that I feel is right. Try not to get off track because I did go through that period of like, oh man, all right, I know what they want. I need to appeal to this type of person to get in, to get in. So
Hmm.
I did fall off track to my original purpose, and I had to kind of set myself back on what matters the most. And at the end of the day, it was never. I didn't start doing music just to become rich. Like to become rich or famous. It wasn't about the money. It was always about the passion and the purpose. So I'm gonna
That's
continue to
good.
follow that passion and purpose and stay on the right track. Make sure I put the right message out there. I know that people are getting the message. People hearing it. It's spreading. I couldn't
Good.
be happier. That'll lead to wherever God had whatever God has planned for me. That's what's going to arrive because I'm walking in those steps. And I won't stop. But besides that, man, like I said, I don't know where I want to live. I know the home I have now is not my permanent home. I'm kind of excited thinking about, like where me and my girl, where we gonna live together, getting our home together and stuff like that. And there's just a lot of doors that I see in front of me, and I see a lot of doors opening. So it's like I really don't know what to expect in the next 5 years, but I know there's a lot of doors that are opening, and I know that I'm gonna lean on God to kind of guide me to the right doors. Like I said, I have this book. Who knows what's gonna happen when I drop the book? But I hope that people who do get the book, that might need the book. It's not for everybody. It's for people that are maybe getting into the music industry or the entertainment industry. You might not even want to be an artist. You might want to have a label. Like I have a publishing company. So that's how I publish my own music. So I get publishing royalties as well as artist royalties and stuff like that. You might know a little bit about that. Um, but maybe managing some artists, that might be something that's in my future. I'm in this industry. I work with a lot of different people. I see a lot of talent. People that have the talent, but they don't know the industry and the business side of the industry like I have. Like I've learned so much through trial and error that now I feel like, man, that might be in my future. Managing other artists and bringing them, to successes in that endeavor. So I definitely just have a lot of options, man. But the main thing is like just living life, living for purpose, um, embracing my family and my loved ones, because at the end of the day, your family and look, your family will always be there for you, so support them and uh, just whatever you put into this world, that's what you can get from it, So I'm gonna continue to push positivity, and hopefully, that'll come back to me tenfold, you know.
I do know, man. I just whatever you were saying or whatever, you got this amount of following, you got this, and doors are starting to open, and you're staying authentic, and you're just staying on task because you got off task, and you know, uh, if you there's a verse in my favorite book, and it says, if, those who are faithful with the small things will be rewarded with even greater things. So, what I hear is, you trying to stay faithful with those things, and it's just like me. I told you, I started this and I was supposed to start it 2 years ago, and I started, and I got a couple of followers, they kind of look, and I don't know what it looks like, and I'm just trying to stay
Yeah,
faithful and just talk to people. And my buddy Tim, he's one of my biggest encouragers, one of my biggest critics, and he's like, dude, I don't even know that many people that are Christians, much less have these stories. And it's just like, Lord, put them in my path. And I'm just talking to
yeah, yeah.
people, like you, that are encouraging and is doing
Facts.
positive things. And man, it's just a great message for a great purpose. And we all, serve a great God. And, we're just trying to do our thing. And, just like, the Bible says, iron sharpens iron, and you talk with people, and we might be on totally different paths. But when we come together, we can
Yeah,
kind of just, glean off of one another, encourage one another. And, hopefully we can help each
and
other
learn,
out.
yeah, learn from each other, man. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You
Because I
know,
don't want to make all the mistakes everybody else made, including the ones I make. you know?
yeah, for sure. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And like you said, like you never know how big your endeavors are going to take you or whatever, but you have to live it because part of the reward comes from actually living, you know, uh in your passion and actually going for it, going for your dream. You know, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to wonder about it. You don't have to worry about it. You know, you go for it, put your all into it, and your reward is great in just that. You know, so I always think of things like that. So always live for your passion, you know, like go for it. Don't hesitate, don't think about it. You know, we make a lot of mistakes in life. You gotta make mistakes, you gotta grow from them, you know, but you're gonna always learn something from it, you know. So
No, 100%.
that's what
Some of
I
your
definitely
best,
give.
yeah, some of your best life lessons are from falling down and picking yourself up, and you know you can get through that
Yeah.
again if you ever encourage it. And that's the thing about life lessons is you only get those through life, so you got to keep walking.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah. Which what's some good advice for young men out there coming up?
Man, good advice.
Hmm.
Um, the main advice that I like to give people that I come into contact with is how valuable trade school is.
Mm,
Learning a trade.
come on with it. Come
Um,
on.
out of everything I've learned, that's one thing I can't never deny, you know, that, you know, by deciding to get into non-destructive testing, going to trade school and accomplishing that, it's been so rewarding throughout life. You know what I'm saying? Like there are so many more opportunities that's a real, you know, we went from doing NDE to becoming inspectors, and we have a job that financially supports a great lifestyle, like a great lifestyle, you know. You don't have
It
if
does.
you manage your money correctly and stuff like that, like you can't fail. Like so I always tell people and I try to steer them towards finding that type of trade, like, because you can always rely on it, Think about doing your own business, but trade school, like you can't go wrong with it, Find something that you into, um, uh, and just going for it. Like I always tell them, don't leave that option out the door. Like my girl, her son. He's I don't know, he's gun ho about wanting to get into the army. He wants to, and like nothing wrong with the army, but I always try to steer him away. I'm like, man, you know what time we living in, and you want to go into the army. They got the Ukraine Russia thing going on, the United States in the
Right.
middle of all these other country business. I was like, you never know, what's going to happen in the future, and I was like, I don't think this is a great time, to kind of get into that. And of course, you always want to protect your loved ones. You don't want them to get into danger. And
Of course.
that's why, I got to give a shout out to all of, the servicemen, the veterans, the people who have taken that step, like my sister husband, he done time, he done been in war, and he's seen so much stuff throughout his lifetime, and him and my sister has made it through all of that, and they're still together. They have a great family. Shout out to them. I love them so much, man. Like they give so much love, and they live so righteous, and like he's a pastor, so they very big into the church and stuff like that.
Praise God.
um and they've supported me so much, with the music endeavor and stuff like that. They've always shown love and believed in me. So I definitely give them a huge shout out. But just back to that idea that, man, like trade, I always try to lean him towards a trade because I know what works, you know I know that lifestyle can lead what it can lead to, you
You've
know.
experienced it working.
So I've experienced it. I'm not going off of something that
Try.
I'm just that I think, like I'm telling you what I know. If you go to
Yeah.
trade school for this, you finish school, you get into
Mhm.
this, you start working turnarounds for this amount of time. You're gonna save
And you
about this
hustle.
amount of money. If you save your money, you're gonna save about this amount of money in this amount of time. That might not be what you want to do permanently, but you have money to invest. Now you can invest in things that's gonna multiply that money. You know, You might want to get into real estate. You might want to you know you might want to just do your own thing. You might be an
Right.
artist. You can do tattoos. You know, like there are so many things.
Yeah.
And like in regards to that aspect, like I say with the tattoos, like if you into art and you're a skilled artist, um, always lean on your talents. You know, if
Right.
you have a God given talent, man, find you something, a way to utilize that talent to where you can create a lifestyle for yourself to where work isn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
you working and making money and you know you can live off of it, but the passion and enjoyment you get out of it is not it's not really a job because it's something that you have a God-given gift for and you passionate about it. You know?
Y'all.
So I always say,
No.
man, lean on that, but trade school. Go to trade school. Y'all don't know what to do if y'all in high school and y'all like, man, I don't know what I want to do when I finish school. Go to trade school. Look into non-destructive testing. Look into the welding field. Look into uh whatever all these other fields, you know. Like for the women, they got the hairstyling. Man, these women making a killing. These women, I look to get my hair
100%.
braided, man, like that's 75, $80. You know,
A
you can
head,
be
huh?
if you learn how to do
How long?
this for
How long
eighty
does that take?
dollars for one head. This take 2 hours.
Mhm.
The girl who does my hair, it takes about 2 hours. So
Okay.
and that's $40 an hour. But man,
Yeah.
they got girls 12, 13 years old can do this. They can style your hair, you know,
Right.
and if they do it good enough, you know, like man, I never have a problem paying because when I feel I get something done and I like it, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? I still tip. I tip my hairstylist, you know. Megan,
Oh
what's up,
yeah.
Megan? I'm gonna have to send this out to my social media. Megan might see
Shout out
this.
to
Man,
Megan.
Megan always
Uh
she
huh.
always do a good job. I always gotta throw a couple extra dollars sometimes, you know. Like
Right. Right.
so you gotta think, even if you have a teenager, a young lady, if she can get into learning how to do stuff like this, man, by the time they 21 years old and they saving that type of money, you know, they've established a customer. They have a strong customer base from doing it for so long. They only have success in that future. You know.
Oh yeah. And
Um.
look, that's kind of something I told all my kids is like coming up. Look, college ain't for everybody, but look, you got three
Yeah. Man.
choices. You know what I mean? It's college. It's not for everybody. And you got the military. Anybody can go in. That's not for everybody either. Or you got trade school. But if you do one of those three routes, you know what I mean, you'll be fine. And you might have to
Yeah.
do more than one before you figure it all out. But those are all great routes to go into because
Yeah.
they all have
True.
potential in the future. And if you enjoy that thing, I mean, that's fantastic because, I try to tell my kids, I said, look, there's a lot of people out there that are working a job that they hate. They hate it. And it's like,
Hate it.
go walk into those doors that are easy and you enjoy and find and do
Yeah.
something that you like to do. And it might not pay well now, but get so good at it that people will pay you to come do it for you. And
Yeah.
finally,
Yeah. For real.
some wealthy person might, pay you to come do that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. People might want to invest in you. You know.
absolutely.
Like
That's just like
that's
you got
always something
that
that can
girl,
happen.
yeah, that girl Megan that does your hair.
Megan. Yeah.
Shout out,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's just like you like the way she does it, and I'm sure she does a good job. And it's just like if you got somebody that's good and competent and they do a good job and they smile while they're doing it, you're gonna get them to come back.
Yeah. It's true, man.
Yeah,
And you got to think
yeah.
like I said, I besides just doing the music, like I've had the other business. Like, man, you have 10 good customers. You have no idea how valuable 10 customers are. Not just
Mhm.
somebody that came in one time, but people that are a real customer, you know? Or when it comes to the
Repeat.
music, if you have a fan, and I'm not just talking about somebody that listens to your music one time. I'm talking about people that really rock with your music and they going back and they streaming your music or they purchasing your music on Amazon. When you have real fans, you'll be surprised at how little it takes to make a big impact, you know, a big reward from
Sure,
it. So
sure.
y'all just think about that and take that to heart because There's some real stuff we talking about. Like there's some gems. Like I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm gonna have 1,000 shorts out of this one right here, babe.
Oh yeah, bro, you gonna cut it off, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the
For
app I
sure, for
use,
sure.
whatever the Riverside app, it does all that stuff for me.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, it's way smarter than I am.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so
There's a lot, man. That's one thing that I've learned a lot about as well in regards to like AI
mhm,
and artificial intelligence and stuff like that. Like the technology these days has gotten so smart and it's so easy to do a lot of the things that took so much time and effort. Now you can do things in within minutes, like how you say it, effortlessly.
effortlessly. That's it,
Yeah.
baby.
So yeah, yeah.
I
But
smell what you're
like
stepping in.
you were saying it right. But
Uh-huh.
learning all of that type of stuff, man, that's been rewarding. Like I do a lot of side work, like when I'm not working turnarounds, and it's passion. I love doing it. It's fun to do. Like the music videos. I do a lot of music videos utilizing AI. And I make from $200 to $300 for per video. Like I think like just sitting at the house doing something I love, I done made like $2,000 over the last 2 weeks. Like
That's
that's
great, man.
that's amazing. Like your kids, or your teenagers, they can do stuff like that themselves. If
Right.
I can do it, they can do it. Utilize social media for what it is, a tool. It's a tool to advertise to an audience. You know what I'm saying? Use
Yeah.
it for what it was. That's what it was made for. That's what they make it. They making money from advertisement. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We are pretty much the consumers of the
Mhm.
social media, and they're reaping a reward from it. We're
Yeah.
losing our time, by having, like we spend so much time scrolling on social
Swiping.
media,
Oh
and
yeah.
they making a killing off of it. You know what I'm saying? When you can be creating the content, and making money from it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to flip the script, you know, and not just
And
just be a consumer of all of this. You got to use things as they were made. They were made to be a tool. So
absolutely. And look, we got these computers that we walk around in our hand right here. And they say these things right here, they got more uh, software in them than the first space shuttle
yeah.
did. And it's just like so many people,
Oh
they
yeah,
walk
yeah,
around
easy.
and they just scroll Facebook or TikTok and look at cat videos or pimple popping videos or dancing videos. And it's just
Yeah,
like, you got a whole world at your fingertips, and it's just like you could sit there and go into a trance, for 4 hours, or you could research a new trade, or you could figure out and create stuff and put it out there. And you know what? Your first thing, nobody will see it. Your second thing, nobody will see it. And then somebody will see something and be like, oh, they like that. Let me put something else out like that. And it's just like, you
yeah,
might
yeah.
find a little niche. And I try to encourage my kids to do stuff like that. But daddy don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
Yeah, listen to daddy because like really, man, there's so much opportunity, and you're gonna
sure.
get so much reward from it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like even when you're trying to get a different body or you want to lose weight, you want to get
Mm-hmm.
into exercise and stuff like that. The hardest part is to start. You know what I'm saying? You might have the idea and want to
100%.
do something. You know what I'm saying? But
And,
it's not just about wanting it. The hard part is actually just getting started. You know what I'm saying? Getting past the idea of it and actually doing it. Once you do it the
yeah,
first
100.
time, it was hard, but you didn't stop. You the next day, look, you did the same thing. Like over
Absolutely.
time, you do it enough times, then your body starts to learn. You know what I'm saying? Your body starts to get comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And over
I do.
time, you're gonna start to see results from it. So like I said, like there's so much opportunity for you to be creative, use all of these assets and this media and technology to your advantage and start young. Like that's the thing. Like start young. Like learn how to use it for what it was made for, and profit from it. You know what I'm saying? The younger you start, the more profitable you're gonna be in the long run, you know?
No, 100%.
So
It's
I
just
tell
like
that
you
shit
talk
like
about,
like go
being
ahead.
obese is hard, working out is hard, but being obese is hard. You know, being poor is hard. Being wealthy is hard. Pick your heart. What do you
Yeah.
want to do? I mean, Like myself,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be reasonably healthy, and I'm trying to, help some people, but at the same time, I got to help myself. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
got to be healthy, before I can help somebody else. And me and my buddy were talking about this at lunch today. Whenever you get on the airplane, and they say in case of an emergency or whatever, and an oxygen mask pops out, you know what I mean? Put your mask on first before you try to help anybody else. And it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
you have to know how to take care of yourself. And young people don't know how to take care of themselves. And it's trial and error. You just like you said,
Yeah.
you tried so many things before you figured out your niche or whatever it is, and whatever is good, and these doors are opening. So once those doors start opening for you, you're working in the right direction. You're starting to catch that little traction, and then you just got to keep moving, keep throwing irons in the fire, but keep moving. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You just you know
Yeah.
a, a ship's not
Yeah.
meant to sit in a harbor. A harbor,
Yeah. And
that's good.
self help is so much important because it's hard to help somebody else when you're not at your healthiest, if you're not at your happiest, if you're not at peace with yourself. Like a dying fruit can't sustain other fruit to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
uh
Yeah.
it's dying. You know what I'm saying? So like all the resources, you just, I don't know if that was the best analogy, but uh
I
like
know what you
like
mean.
like you said. Yeah, yeah. Like you
Uh,
have you have to be a thriving fruit yourself to be able to give off enough to sustain others around you. And if
no,
you
100.
you're around just dead fruit, you know what I'm saying? The same thing, the dead fruit can drain from you, and bring you down. So you gotta find that balance, and you definitely gotta put yourself first in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and this is something I was actually thinking about earlier when you was talking, and you was talking about you know uh putting that message out there, and I said, Mr. Propane, you got that fire or whatever. And this is a revelation that I received a couple of years ago. And you know how whenever you get hot and you get on fire, let's just say for the Lord or anything else, is like to keep
Hmm.
that flame hot, you got to spread that fire to somebody else. You got to keep lighting other people's fires, and you got to encourage them, and that's how
Yeah,
you stay hot. That's how you encourage other people and encourage yourself at the same time. But you got to have that fire inside of you, and it's got to be strong, for you to light somebody
yeah,
else's fire,
yeah.
man. And
Exactly, man. You
that's
said
just
that
like
perfectly.
thank you, man. But that's just the Lord. That ain't me. But just like we was talking about before, I told you you're looking good, you're looking healthy, and all that. And it's just like,
Thank you.
before, I know you was going through some stuff, and you was going through that deal, whatever it was, and you were struggling, and even health issues and all of that stuff. Because everything you was going on is because you was fighting that battle. And I'm happy for you, man. You look healthy. You
Yeah.
got you got that new love in your life, and it sounds like everything's going good. The music's going good, man. I'm proud of you, homie. Keep it up, man. I love it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. And like I said, man, I definitely appreciate the time, man. I don't know, we've been on with about an hour, and like it's been
Yeah. An
nonstop,
hour.
man. So we definitely had a lot to talk about. So it definitely was a
Yeah.
great entertaining conversation. I hope somebody out there got a message from it, something positive they can use, and things that they really can take to heart and try to apply to their life, and use it, use this information that we have and these things that we talking about, and don't take it for granted. That's another big thing, man. Like we take so much for granted, and you never know what one little thing that you can apply that can have a big effect on your life. And so
Hmm.
um I just, you know, feel appreciated being able to be here, man. Like for real.
No, I appreciate you coming on here. And I actually had a whole script of questions that I was going to ask you or whatever. And I don't think we ever run out of stuff to talk to. And you touched on all the stuff I want to ask you anyway. So,
All right, bad. Yeah.
yeah, this is good. This is good, man. I appreciate it, PK, man. You did good, man. But I guess
Oh yeah.
it's time for
Thank
you give you a chance to plug yourself, and anywhere else where anybody could find you and all that stuff in case people are looking for you.
you.
So
All
go
right, yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Shameless plug time.
Shameless plug time. So like he said, all this time. My name is Nune, aka Mr. Propane. I am a music artist. I make hip hop music, but I love soul. I love old school music, so I try to incorporate some of that. I love R&B. There's a lot of R&B in my music. I write all of my music. And I ask that y'all all get a chance to go and check it out. And the easiest way to do that is to go to my website, which is www.mrpropane.net. That's mrpropane.net. And y'all get to the landing page, and it'll have all my social media and things that y'all can click on to access all of the other aspects of me as an artist. There's my EPK, which is my press kit that we send out to media. It tells you my biography, about where I'm from, about my motivations in regards to doing music, why I do it, my purpose in music. It tells you a little bit about the awards and the successes that I've had. And even since then, it hasn't been updated in a while, but I've had so many great accomplishments since then. And like we talked about, the biggest one recently is being able to publish my music through UMG, Universal Music Group. So I'm excited to drop my next project. I can't wait to drop my first book. Y'all can see right here, that's my name right here, Paul Kennison,
I love it.
aka Mr.
Yeah,
Propane. I
yeah.
can't wait for this book to drop, um, and see how well it does. I am looking for a publisher. I do publish a lot of my own, my music and stuff. For this book, I'm looking for a partner that actually has experience in releasing books successfully. So if anybody out there might know anybody that has a great repertoire of publishing books and having successes in getting books out to people and doing marketing and things of that nature, I'll definitely be willing to get any kind of advice or tips or information. And all that y'all can get at me at Nune, Nune, at mrpropane.net. That's my email. So anybody that want to reach out, anybody have any other questions and things of that nature, y'all welcome to holler at me. I'd love to hear back from y'all. And we're gonna just continue pushing, like this another feature I have I'm real proud of. This is I actually had the cover story on this magazine. It's industry certified. Magazine company. I think the CEO is Rob's World. I had a chance to work with him a while back, and I actually have a huge 6-page story in this magazine. I was like the main focus of this particular issue, so that's definitely a great achievement, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud. I have so much content. I have so much music. I have so many ideas and stuff in my mind that I'm still waiting to put out, like on video and stuff like that. And we're gonna continue pushing, and like I said, always live your dream, live your purpose. Don't let when God talking to you and that voice in your head, man, you just gotta listen to yourself, listen to those to that thought, you know what I'm saying? And don't let it drive you crazy, don't let it drive you crazy. When you start acting up on it, you're gonna get peace from it, definitely. So always go ahead, live your dream, find peace, and live love, and be happy. Like Bob Marley say, be happy.
I love it, man. Man, this is the High Calling Podcast, trying to tell stories like PK, Noon, aka Mr. Propane. I'm proud of you, homie. You got it going on, and you got a lot of things going on. You're giving glory to God, and that's just what it's all about, man. I appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, man. So this was the How You Calling podcast with Chad Hillstrom. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Everybody out there, look, peace out from your boy, Mr. Propane.
Later, guys.